Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with another game that we're just a little bit late for. We got TinyDragon here playing full faction Kathir Forest versus Fafnirsbane playing full faction Underdepths. Spider deck by the looks of it. And yeah, so just let me trying to catch up here. I just got out of recording a game and I immediately saw Tiny playing, so I decided, you know what, let's jump into this and see what's going on. So it hasn't been more than a minute or two, but I just missed the early font capping. We got Tiny with elves or some kind of good stuff deck by the look of it. And then yeah, Fafnir's with the spiders, getting a Weaver, Cinderpede for some ranged action, zoning that Wilderkin with the lava. But I feel like Wilderkin could probably just run at that Cinderpede, yeah? I mean, it's 4 to 5 range now, and the lava isn't that much of a deterrent for him. Try and get a rend on him, maybe. Then the problem is Weaver can just relocate something in, like a Killzik, and then Wilderkin will have to retreat back over the lava for more damage. So maybe not do that. What does Fafnir's have up top? Capping that font. A trap spider. A real trap spider. Wow. Alright. Trap spider is like 80 Nora. I don't know if I'd run trap spider. It's okay, but it doesn't really do as much as like void spiders in that same price bracket. You've got your brood mothers. You could be running. Just doesn't seem. I mean, if you want the trap spider, you could run summon trap spider for the funsies, but summon counters being what they are, I'd probably recommend against that as well. But we'll see how it does. Aurora Lancer does not have Majestic, so a Trap Spider won't have to work around that. And Tiny's also got the Aurora Investigator. Now this champion is really annoying. I always forget about the damn clues that it leaves on the ground. I don't even realize that those little red dots give AP until it's too late. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a feature of the terrain that I don't pay attention to when I should. So Cinderpede's gonna get relocated in by the Weaver, pulled into the fight, and then okay, so Weaver does a weave web on the lava, but that doesn't actually remove the terrain. It's just more like an overlay of the terrain, sort of like how Ash terrain works. It's not actual terrain. It's yeah. So puts down a web so the Wilderkin will get ensnared as well as take fire damage if it walks over the lava. So further protection for that Cinderpede after doing an attack. That does actually get dodged by the Wilderkin. Oh wait, he took 12. Yeah, so he attacked twice, and then he dodged one of them. So we've got the Trap Spider locking down the Aurora Lancer, although both are 1 to 2 range. So Aurora Lancer can get a return hit onto the Trap Spider. And Trap Spider... Oh, okay, so he took this 74 Nora build. I'd usually go with Constriction, which puts him at around 80. That's why I thought he'd be in that price bracket before. But I mean, Vulnerable makes him cheap. I guess that's probably the best way to do it. I mean, still, like you have like Demon Web Spider, or I think that's what it's called, around that price for 1 to 3 range, pulls things in. I don't know. I just don't like Trap Spider. I think he just doesn't do enough. So we got the second Aurora Lancer. I'm gonna mess that word up all game, aren't I? Getting a Majestic proc, an Awestruck onto that Trap Spider, preventing as much return damage as it would have otherwise taken. Then a Lava Flow Devourer. Now this is a champion I am actually in favor of. So Lava Flow Devourer. Back when fire decks were all the rage, I was wondering if Lava Flow Devourer would get the same Lava Walker treatment as the other stuff like Fire Elemental and Ruby Crawler. But Lava Flow Devourer, he's 60 HP, you know, he's decent stats, and then he can heal off the fire. He has a ranged attack for 66 Nora. That's a bargain if you ask me. Now, you know, he can self-heal with Fire Feed if there's no lava around. He's pretty good. And then, of course, in a spider deck, you can give him multi-attack as well. So a nice cheap defender for that font against the Aurora Lancers. And we got Cinderpedes dropping some more lava, keeping that Wilderkin at bay. I guess Tiny's just going to sit back and hold off for the moment until he can scope out a kill. This Cinderpede is not currently on lava, so it does have Resist Physical 3. And at this point, I mean, unless Tiny has like a protection or something, I don't see that Wilderkin living too long. He does have dodge, but the problem is Spider Racial sort of eats through that no problem. These Cinderpedes can still get off some decent damage against the Wilderkin if Tiny chooses to keep contesting. So there's the Aurora Lance. I think it's, yeah, Aurora Lance onto the Trap Spider. And that, see there, that little red marking on the ground there, that's the clue. I mean, come on, you can barely see that. You gotta make it more visible at least. Like I wouldn't, yeah. Like if so basically if Tiny's champion walks onto that space, or I think is it within 2 spaces? Yeah, 2 spaces of the clue, they get 2 AP. So I don't know. I just think it's a little bit hard to distinguish on the background of the map sometimes. But Tiny will get more AP when he chooses to move near that space. And realizing that he's sort of outmatched versus these 2 champions for the moment, he retreats his Aurora Lancer, letting it regen back up. And a second Snake Charmer for Tiny. So these serpents gonna slither their way through, maybe even Relic contest Fafnir's side font. But Constriction is pretty good against the Cinderpedes. You can just walk those over the lava, get a Constrict off, so that they can't return fire, and then send your Wilderkin in. But he's got to wait for that web terrain to dissipate first. It lasts for 6 turns, which is surprisingly long. So there's the other clue AP, which you can't see it because there's lava there. But does give Wilderkin a little bit more AP. Gets a hit off, nice juicy Rend proc, and sends that Serpent in as well, threatening to constrict something. But I don't know, it seems like I'm pretty sure that Wilderkin is going down this turn. You can get 2 hits with Weaver, maybe eat up the dodge with an Entangle first, then move this Cinderpede off. They do have mobility, thanks to Spider Frenzy. And there's actually an Arthropod Frenzy spell, so everyone now has Pounce, Leap, and Retreat too. So that'll get around dodge nicely. The Cinderpede, maybe Fafnir's will get a double kill here onto this Serpent. But after the Wilderkin goes down, there's not much Tiny has to threaten this font. He's got 2 Snake Charmers, which are passive, and the Constrictor Serpent, which is annoying, but it can't contest. So he's going to have to stick something else in there. So there go the 2 Pounces, and that Wilderkin will die to the lava. And Fafnir's will get another Pounce, or maybe just an Entangle onto that Snake Charmer. No, he actually, neither. He actually pounces the Aurora Investigator, keeping that thing locked down, since it does have 4 minimum range. And an Orb of Protection. So there's the Escape Magic on the Wilderkin. I was wondering if it's not protection, it's probably Escape Magic, since double Snake Charmer does provide quite a lot of healing. The Orb of Protection actually being placed on the lava for whatever reason. I guess just an added obstacle that Tiny will have to eat through before gating that font. And Trap Spider up top, meanwhile, goes tunneling again. So hiding out, lurking in the shadows, waiting for an Aurora Lancer to come across its path. And Lava Flow Devourer, meanwhile, staying in the way so that Tiny can't contest that font. Very nice. And oh yeah, these little spiderlings back here. I guess Fafnir's just gonna leave them. I mean, I don't know. He's got one with full AP. Like, I'd be moving those things into the fight, you know, rather than just having them sit back there and do nothing. You could send them over here to help fight. You could send them up top to harass with the relics. You could even send them over this water here and harass this font with the relic, because they are summons. But you know, you get a lot of them from the protect the nest here. And, that's a lot of extra meat that Tiny will have to deal with eventually. So there's the second Aurora Lance onto the Devourer, as well as a Thorn Collection. Where did that go down? Oh, that went down over here. The animation happened up here, but the effect actually happened over here. Nice little bug, client bug there. But the Thorn Collection allows for the killing of that Cinderpede, as well as the complete destruction of that Orb of Protection that just got... It takes 3 damage for every time it triggers, and then it takes 10 damage from the Thorn Collection, so it's basically dead. So Weaver getting constricted over here by the snake, as well as the magical aura going down. And Tiny plopping out a poison serpent this time. Most people prefer getting the constrictor serpents since they're more HP. That's basically it. They're more HP and constriction is a better ability than poison too. But I mean, the poison serpents can still be useful in their own way. They also do have one more speed since they are base 6 rather than base 5. So a little bit faster, a little bit squirmier. And okay, so Trap Spider didn't actually go anywhere. I was thinking he might have tunneled up here somewhere, but nope, he just sits back defending the font and ensnaring that Aurora Lancer yet again. But the Lava Flow Devourer is currently blinded, so no attacks going down from him this turn. Although Trap Spider, Trap Spider is also blinded from the Aurora Lamps. No, that's from Blinding Flash. I missed that. So Blinding Flash blinds for 4 turns and slows for 4 turns. So 30 Nora spell going down, keeping that Trap Spider from ruining that Aurora Lancer's life. But a second Arachnid Frenzy going down from Fafnirsbane, so everyone's got Pounce, and Pounce is something that gets around blinded because it's not an attack. So 30 Nora, yeah, I'm pretty sure Arachnid Frenzy is 30 Nora. So 30 Nora spell for 30 Nora spell there. And it's nice that for Fafnirsbane that he can walk right over this water without getting impeded, whereas Tiny is sort of blocked off by it, thanks to the Creep and Crawl on all of his champions. There he goes, he's sending his Spiderlings into the fight now. Weaver still constricted, unfortunately, so he's forced to take that snake out. But Orb of Protection does manage to survive barely from the fire damage healing. Then does a pounce onto the Aurora Investigator. I'd probably be going for the Snake Charmer, but I guess keeping the Investigator out of attack range is probably for the best. And there's a Fire Blast as well, healing up the Cinderpede, as well as the Orb of Protection a little bit. But it doesn't actually let him get the kill, so I don't know about that Fire Blast. That was 40 Nora he could have spent on like a cheapo champion or something. Or saved it for the following turn. I mean, the healing on Cinderpede didn't matter much, and the Aurora Investigator is not in any danger of dying anytime soon. I guess maybe he did it to try and keep the orb alive? But that didn't work out either, so... Trap Spider up here on 1 HP from this Aurora Lancer. And that's kind of unfortunate for Tiny. So now Fafnirs can Retribution and get a kill on that Aurora Lancer. And after that happens, I mean, Lava Flow can just walk into this font, no problem. Tiny will have to send something else up there. As far as down here goes, he's doing pretty well for himself. He's got the kill on the Weaver. And that Fire Blast, not having accomplished much, actually works well in his favor, because now Snake Charmer can grab that globe, and then Tiny can deploy something over here, and he'll be well outnumbering Fafnirsbane's champions. Especially after that second Blinding Flash. So Blinding Flash actually getting a Spell Surge here through Aurora Investigator, which I had neglected to mention earlier because... basically just because I forgot about it. But basically, Spell Surge Blinding Flash means that all of Tiny's Blinding Flash spells cost 10 Nora less, and do a little bit of healing to the Investigator when they're cast. So that's 16 HP of healing so far that it's received. And also keeping Fafnir's champions well and truly locked down, because Underdepths does not have Cleanse. And Sapella the Ancient making its presence known, doing a little bit of global damage, managing to finish off that Trap Spider, and a Ranger Elite coming down. Wow, Tiny had a lot of Nora. I guess that Spell Surge really helped. He grabbed that globe, so Blinding Flash was, I think, 25 Nora? 20 or 25 Nora? Because of Spell Surge, and then he deployed a Ranger Elite. So Tiny in a pretty comfortable position, I'd say, even after transfiguring. This Aurora Lancer is going to last for a while, because of resistances, and I wouldn't imagine that Lava Flow to last for more than 1 or 2 turns more. Aurora Lancer going to make 2 hits on it, then Ranger Elite going to get a nice arrow shot, and then basically any spell, like a Grimlock's Bane, can take it out. And at that point, I mean, Tiny's got that font in his sights, and Fafnir is going to have to deploy up there. But for the moment, he deploys a Weaver bottom. And yeah, that's about all he can do right now. I mean, the Cinderpede is blinded, it's slowed, it's just dead. There's no other way to put it. It's just kind of dead. He can move off the lava for the resist, but that's about all he can do. Investigator's going to get a hit. Poison Serpent probably going to get a hit. And being slowed and blinded for yet another turn, and not going to be very good for Fafnirs here. Going to do a little Nature's Blessing, keeping that Wilderkin alive. So that escape magic has really paid off for Tiny. Wilderkin allowing him to finish off that other Cinderpede last turn. And now this one is not looking so good either. So that clue that Investigator just created is somewhere around here. Somewhere, right? Nope. I guess there wasn't one. See, I can't even tell. So there's a clue going down. And then, the Wilderkin going in. Or a hit. Nice amount of Ren damage. Snake Charmer keeping itself safe with a charm. Doing a little snake dance. Do 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 do. Or, however that goes. And then Heal Champion. No, sorry, that was an Aura. Yeah, Grand Aura. A little more damage on that Pede. But the problem for Fafnirs is that he's losing that Cinderpede, and Weaver is not in a position to recontest. And then, an Oasis. Okay, so Tiny's getting into that top font as well. After killing that Spiderling. So there's the teleport. Apocal Oasis having Endurance Aura 4 as well. So everything within 3 spaces takes 2 less damage. And meanwhile, Lava Flow Devourer has to deal with that Ranger Elite. Which he's not looking forward to that fight, I can tell you that. So he does have mobility thanks to the Weaver, but so he'll be able to move back into the font. But his odds versus the Aurora Lancer are not too great either. Spiderling gonna come in and maybe try and help out, but they're only on 12 HP now, so one hit from the Ranger Elite will take them out. Also, Grimlick's Bane. Grimlick's Bane will just kill all of them at once if Tiny chooses to do so. Let's see, we've got Weaver just sort of chilling, hanging out. Not really able to relocate the Cinderpede quite yet. He could relocate it out of harm's way for the moment, because Charmed does not... Charmed means your champions can't engage. So he could walk right by that Snake Charmer and relocate the Cinderpede away. If he wanted, maybe for a sacrifice play. But it seems like Tiny has got this game well under control at the moment. Fafnirsbane kind of losing on both fronts. He's got his top font contested, bot's not going well, and then Demonic Sandclaw coming out here, having to redirect his efforts towards topside, making sure he doesn't lose any more ground than he already does, or than he already has. Cinderpede running away as best he can. I guess he's just going to keep him in the font for one more turn to try and deprive Tiny of the deployment zone. Or not, maybe he's going to relocate. Seems like, yep. Contesting with a Calignus Cauldron. So all fire damage that would have been dealt is now dealt as loss of life instead. Nice little 20 Nora relic there for fire decks. And I don't know if I'd run it in pure spiders. I know spiders do have a lot of fire damage. Like you can run a pretty viable fire module in spiders, because you've got Weavers with fire attack, Cinderpede with fire attack, and then Ruby Crawlers if you choose to run those as well. I'm pretty sure those have fire attack. They have fire aura. And what else? I mean, Underdepths in general has a lot of fire damage with Fire Blast and stuff. But Loss of Life is really nice to get around resistances and such. But it doesn't matter anymore because the relic served its purpose contesting for a turn. And yep, there's the Grimlick's Bane on the Cinderpede. And Poison Serpent gathers the globe. So Tiny doing quite well for himself now. And you would think that a spider deck, a deck full of, cheap, relatively cheap, efficient champions would be able to fight on both fronts. The problem is, Tiny just had more support power bot side. He had the serpents, he had the healing, that fire blast that didn't really do much, and then the centipedes were sort of waylaid by the escape magic. Not really able to return fire effectively. Fafnirs didn't do a good job of focusing any particular target. I think focusing the Snake Charmer in that situation would have been easier for him, and might have managed to pay off more. Also, the Orb of Protection didn't do too much either, but maybe he had something in mind that didn't quite go according to plan. But he's choosing to fight on anyway, bravely, perhaps slightly foolishly, as a player of Tiny's caliber would almost certainly never throw a position like this. Poison Serpent going to go down to the Spider, as well as the Weaver. And hopefully deploy, as otherwise that Weaver will be feeling very alone. Ooh, maybe we'll see a good Fire Blast here. Fire Blast here would actually take out, both those champions, and leave the Wilderkin on quite low HP. Now, if he had a second spell to take out the Wilderkin also, I might be inclined to give a little bit of encouragement to Fafnir. But seems like Tiny's probably just going to deploy something here. Maybe a Condor Fury, maybe another Wilderkin to hold back that Weaver. But this Wilderkin, maybe Tiny will deploy an Aspect of Life and then just heal it right back up to full. We will see. But at this point, this Constrictor Serpent can just keep that Weaver locked down in its coils so that it can't contest. But yeah, Tiny's going to grab both of those globes, and then maybe go kill that Spiderling with the 3 HP Wilderkin, having mobility from the Kathir Forest Font. But for the moment, he takes out the he takes out the Spiderling with the Ranger Elite, as well as that other Spiderling with an arrow shot. And then teleports over with the help of Apocalypse to land a hit on the banner. So that top font is going to be well within Tiny's control on the following turn. Demonic Sandclaw is strong. I've always thought this champion was a little bit not overpowered, but just a really underutilized piece in a lot of decks. Especially in Sand. I mean, if you run this thing in Sand, it can get to like 20 damage, no problem. With Sand Striker, and then it also has Domain in there somewhere. And then, of course, it ramps up in speed every time it lands a hit. So it's pretty good for sub 60 or sub 70 Nora. And then in Spiders, I mean, you've got Assault on it, multi-attack for more Zeal procs, and then Blood Frenzy for when it gets low. And it doesn't actually lose as much from rank 2 Blood Frenzy as other champions would, because it does have 2 base defense, which is a little bit surprising actually for this kind of champion. But down here we see Weaver getting constricted by the snake, which he has to take out, and a Ranger Elite to keep the Weaver at bay. So Tiny choosing to try and maximize the usage of his champions. That Wilderkin staying back, protected by dodge from the entangle of the Weaver, but also running Snake Charmer right into the font. Not afraid of any retaliation, because the only things that Fafnir has here for the moment are Spiderlings. But kills it coming down, probably a little bit late to be effective effective right now. The problem is that she's only really as strong as your other champions in play, because I mean, she can't really solo. She needs surge stacks, and whenever I see Kilzik played, she usually just gets one rounded, and then the Spiderlings are dealt with via like Shatter Summons or something. But with Fafnir's only having like 3 champions in play, she doesn't get much out of Surge. And when you're against, Tiny with like Ranger Elites and the Avatar and stuff, she's not going to be doing too much in combat. So there goes the other Spiderling, and Tiny can probably just, drop a Serpent and then deploy at this font. Something tanky, something annoying, or, just a Pox Harbinger, I guess that'll do it. Initiative allowing him to take out the Spiderling. And Tiny currently has every single font, and there's the end of the game. So well played to both. And we'll see everyone in the next one.